Hey guys, welcome to sportsbookreview.com. Natalie Rides from here. We are underway looking at quarterfinals day one. Joao from MGTennisTipster.com, Alex from Need for Tips, and we have a special guest viewer, Taif, all the way from Canada, joining us to deliver his picks as well. Guys, thanks so much for being here, and Taif, especially you, thanks for being on the show.
Special thanks to you and to Alex for the invite. Pleasure to be here.
Great stuff. How's everyone feeling heading into the quarterfinals?
I'm really happy that Sharapova is out. You cannot imagine how happy I am that Sharapova is out. Another big surprise from my point of view, it was the defeat of Muguruza yesterday against Petra Kvitova. Petra Kvitova, a really good fighter from my point of view. Incredible match yesterday, amazing. I think that she has a big chances to go also to the semifinals. Venus Williams, not a lot of. We might see a semifinal between Nadal and Federer, which might happen for sure.
Yeah. Taif, what about yourself? How have you taken it? Because it's kind of been a rocky road here. We've had, obviously, some of the big names out. They didn't even sort of take part through injury. We've got new players coming forward. It's been a lot of upsets. How have you found the tournament so far?
Personally, for me, it's been a glorious tournament. You have to really pick your spots in these Grand Slams. The amount of offerings can be overwhelming at times. So you have to really be patient and really choose your spots carefully. Try to exploit and make the most out of the set handicaps, game handicaps, over-unders. Try to pick out, try to pace yourself as well. And through to the later stages, the semis and the finals, you're going to find value eventually.
Yeah. Well, luckily we've had Joao and Alex both great at finding that value. Joao heading into the quarterfinals day one. Do we have some value?
Today is a tough day. On the men's side, we have a very tricky match. I'd rather stay away from it, which is between Carreno Busta and Diego Schwartzman. Carreno Busta is the main favorite to win that match, mainly because Schwartzman was struggling with physical problems in the previous round. I still don't understand how Pubil lost that match, because during the third set Schwartzman got injured on his leg. He required a medical timeout. He couldn't barely move. He was thinking about retirement when he was broken in the start of the fourth set. However, Pubil gave him the break in the following game and allowed the Argentinian to get some energy to turn the match. But there's a lot of questions regarding his physical condition, and on that match, my suggestion is to stay away, because currently Carreno is around 1.5, so there's definitely not any value there, because the odds are already admitting that Diego won't be at 100%, and we don't know for sure with 1 day to rest if he's going to be. On the other match, the price on Sam Querrey, who is going to play against Kevin Anderson, has already dropped several lines since the opening odds. We had him around evens when it opened. Now looking at Pinnacle, we only have him at 1.75. It's not surprising to see this movement due to the fact that he played an incredible match against Misha Zverev. I think he ended the match with 55 winners and only 8 enforced errors. So those are huge numbers. However, Misha wasn't at 100%, and his game style is also good for his opponents to have good numbers, because he doesn't give many chances for them to make enforced errors. But tomorrow against Kevin Anderson, I think that should be a closer match. The South African is always a tough opponent for Querrey. In Wimbledon, they went to a 5th set. Although Anderson won in 2 easy sets recently in Montreal, I think that on the Grand Slam event we should see a very long and close match, probably with 1 or 2 tiebreaks. So I think that approaching the over might be an interesting idea. The over 41 is now at 1.81. Not a huge value there. The line is quite high because both are great servers, but I think that's the best approach for this match.
Okay, you sound a little sort of maybe like not so confident or enthusiastic about these matches. Is it because, say, the value has already gone, or is it something that you're treading carefully with?
Yeah, on the match between Sam Querrey and Kevin Anderson, after the match that Querrey did, the opening price at evens was a huge one. However, the value is already gone, in my opinion. that value was only left. If we look, the market was very sharp. The drop from 2.04 to 1.88 occurred in 5 minutes. So the market was very well aware of Querrey's performance. I think that the prices are pretty close and fair at this moment. Wouldn't be surprised with Anderson winning this match, but I believe that the over might be the better approach.
Okay, over to you now, Alex. Obviously, as well, busy on Bookmakers News and Odds Market, our sister site. Those are our Twitter accounts there. How have you found the markets moving? That's right, Sam Querrey's price has dropped. Do you feel more confident, or are you sort of like echoing Joao's thoughts on this?
I have two approaches there. Exactly the over 3.5 sets on the Asian handicap at 1.55. And after that, exactly what Joao said, over 41.5 games on the Asian handicap. But I found better odds at 1.88. I think that it will be a long match. I predict also a 4-5 setters, depends, because both of them are really aggressive and their serve is at a beautiful level. On the other side, Carreño Busta and Schwartzman, again, I predict a long match. Both of them are fighting for each ball, and I think that we will see also the over 3.5 sets, but is at 1.58 the best odds for the overs. So I think that we should watch the first 1 to 3 games in the match and make a live bet on that specific match.
Okay, so more the in-play approach. Interestingly now, Joao, Alex have got two sort of slightly different sort of thoughts. So now we have Type here to hopefully round it off. Who are you going with? Do you agree it's more of like an in-play betting opportunity? Do you think the value has gone? Take us through what you're thinking.
Listen, I think in general terms, we're all in agreement. This Querrey-Anderson matchup is, it's got 4 or 5 sets written all over it. Historically, they've had very tightly contested matches in the past, tie breaks galore between them. But I do have to favor Sam in this match. He's been in tremendous form. He's got the home advantage. I just think he's been the better player in the past few tournaments so far. So I have to, I think the line's spot on. I think it reflects exactly how the match is going to go. I like Sam in this match. I'd back him. It was, I think, opened at 1.8. I'm not sure what it is right now. Is it around 1.6 or 1.7?
I've got it 1.75, I believe. Is that what you said, Joao, at
yeah,
Pinnacle?
I think that's
Pinnacle.
Go on, Taif.
Yeah, I think that's a fair price. I'd go with it. As far as Pablo and Diego, Diego's injury was a little scary, maybe if you want to handicap this match. But he's been tremendous. I mean, he's got a day to recover, so I'm not sure how he's going to be feeling tomorrow. But that's a very scary matchup. If he's healthy and he's ready to go, that could be a marathon match as well. Again, the price is fairly reflective of the situation there, but I tread carefully going on Pablo on that one.
Mm-hmm. I've obviously spoken with Alex and Joao about who they favor for the outrights to outright win. Nadal obviously is the favorite in terms of odds. Do you have a lean right now, or at this point is it sort of too open to make that bet?
Listen, honestly, the value just isn't for me. I mean, I took Rublev to win the tournament the day he beat Dimitrov. I got it at like 75-1 or something like that, and. I mean, apart from that, I mean, you got to look towards Rafael, I guess. I mean, Federer's been shaky. Everyone's been shaky, to be honest. I mean, I might even look at Del Potro. I mean, I like Del Potro today to beat Thiem. But the problem with Del Potro is that he's just injury prone. He's very suspect. You can never trust him completely. He could break down at any moment. So, again, it's... You have to be cautious. You have to always take a very cautious approach when approaching these matches.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Alex, Joao, any thoughts on the outrights whatsoever? We did like Rafael Nadal to reach the final 1.91, although Joao, you said it would be better just to take Nadal at the full price. Any sort of thoughts, any movements on your opinions?
Yeah, exactly. As I mentioned, because the half of the draw where Nadal is the top half is the tougher by far with Nadal, Federer, Del Potro, even Thiem is much closer. So that's going to be a very close one, and I think that if Nadal reaches the final, he should win the title. So taking a higher risk to win the tournament, I think that's the best approach on this. However, I think that is going to be a very close tournament. I would like to see how Federer plays today against Philipp Kohlschreiber, because the last match against Feliciano was not the ideal match to assess his physical condition and also his gameplay, because Feliciano doesn't play many long rallies, always goes to the net, and Kohlschreiber is a player who always creates many problems to the Swiss.
Yes,
so I think
yes, but Kohlschreiber never beat it Federer. So if we are talking historical, he doesn't stand a chance against the Federer. And if we are talking about who will win this tournament, doesn't matter who will be from this part of the from this part of the draw, which with Federer, Nadal, Dominic Thiem, and Del Potro. Doesn't matter who will arrive in the final, they will win the title, because in the down part we don't have so strong competitors.
I think that today's match for Federer won't be that easy. Although as you mentioned, Kohlschreiber never beat him. They have played many close encounters. I remember one in Halle a few years ago where Kohlschreiber had match points on a third set tiebreak, if I'm not mistaken. Also taken a couple of sets on their previous encounters. And he's an all-around player, very talented, and loves to play in the U.S. Open. I think can create some problems here, and it will be a good match to assess Federer's level.
Okay, moving over on the women's side now, would you have a comment? Obviously, there's a match that's in playing at the moment, Safarova versus Coco van der Wey. Anybody got any bets on that match? I'm going to start with you, Taif.
I stayed off this match. Coco van der Wey, to me, I mean, she should have at least 2 Grand Slams under her belt by now. She's such a tremendous talent. She's got the power. She's got every gift, every skill to win. It's just she has this adolescent attitude about her.
Mental problem, exactly.
Yeah,
Halep stuff.
Yeah, she just breaks down. She's her own worst enemy, and so that's why you can never trust her, no matter who she's coming up against. Whereas Lucy's, she's a veteran by now, and she's in decent form. So if Coco has her head on straight, this should be a straight sets easy win. Otherwise it could go 3 sets. So probably following it live is probably your best option with this one.
Yeah. Have you placed any live bets, Sir Alex, on Bookmakers News or Odds Market?
No, on this one, no. I think that players with a mental problem like Coco, like Halep, you cannot place in-play bets. No. They, if you see, you will get mental yourself. If you see them losing some points, you will break down a little bit.
Yeah, it can be extremely stressful. That's right.
If you are saying type that Coco van der Wey should have 2 Grand Slams till now, I think that Simona Halep should have 4 or 5. To be number one.
She's a much more powerful player than Halep. So we're in the power age. That's the word.
I think that we are in the power age. Yeah, but I think that the experience is more on Halep's part. And I think that if both players will be mentally capable 100%, I think that Halep is to win with Coco van der Wey. Anyway, it's my point of view. You cannot take that away from me.
What about you, Joao? I sort of take you as a very chilled person, that maybe that kind of thing wouldn't bother you. Do you bet on the players with the mental problems, or does it wind you up, or have you got any tips for this match?
No, in terms of analyzing a match, in my opinion, I think that considering the mental strength of the player is always very important. On this match, I think that neither of the players is very strong mentally. On Coco's side, I think it's more about not being able to deal with the frustrations because her game style doesn't have a lot of margin for errors. She likes to play very powerful, very aggressive, always going for her shots. And although she can play brilliantly and defeat almost anyone in a good day, on a bad day she can be very terrible and unable to handle with that and deal with that situation. On the other hand, Lucy Safarova already showed more than once throughout her career that she's not a very good player on the pressure points, especially when she's closing the matches and when she has good opportunities. I remember a match that she had against Sloane Stephens in the US Open Series. I'm not sure if it was in Toronto, I think so, that she had 3 match points served for the match and allowed a comeback. That was a good example of Lucy's career. She's a player who sometimes is not able to close the matches, and this is a very unpredictable match in my opinion. Safarov is not an easy matchup because she's left-handed and always goes to Coco's backhand. That is not her favorite shot, and she can create some problems. And also, I believe that she has a 3-1 lead on the head-to-head. I think that she can create some problems, but I would stay away from this match.
All right, so all echoing same opinions there. Obviously, moving now to day one, quarterfinals. Alex, going to start with you. What matches are you looking at?
Just one match for tomorrow that it's coming with a very good value from my point of view. Petra Kvitova that just defeated Muguruza yesterday. I'm going with her to beat Venus Williams. We were talking from the beginning of the tournament about Venus Williams. You remember what are her chances to win the title and so on. But I said that Muguruza will beat her if they will meet each other. But right now it's not the case for Muguruza to meet with Venus Williams. Right now it's Petra Kvitova meeting with Venus Williams. They have a long history, these two players, full of thrilling matches head-to-head in their history. They are two excellent players, a lot of experience. But I think that most of all right now, I think that Petra Kvitova is coming with full motivation, full of confidence after beating Muguruza. I think that she will do another impressive match, and she will take advantage of Williams' a lot of unforced errors in a match. So 1.72 for Petra Kvitova to win against Venus.
Kind of like sad to hear that, to be honest. I was really hoping that Williams would get the Grand Slam. This is the final one. I was hoping that she would get the Grand Slam this year. Do you share those views, Taif?
Listen, it's a pleasure for me to be a part of this team again and to contribute what I can. And the last thing I want to do is to make a fool of myself in my debut appearance. But I'm in love with this play right here. I mean, I just cannot see Petra losing this match. I grabbed it at 1.88 as soon as it opened. And just her performance yesterday was just, out of this world. I mean, no, she's the girl to beat right now. I don't see anyone in this field right now matching up. I mean, the only concern I have tomorrow is that it's going to be, from what I think it is, it's a 11 a.m. match. So possibly the weather, the conditions, if there's some kind of wind that can play into the affecting her serve, because that's what she's going to live and die by. Her first serve percentage has to be on par. But as far as court coverage and movement, I mean, Muguruza and Venus are just on different levels. And Venus, I don't see her matching up against Kvitova at all. So I love this 1.88, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, just looking at the odds there, shop around for your odds. William Hill's got it 1.8. It does vary in price. Obviously, it also depends on who you bet with. Bet365 1.72. Joao, do you know the price over at Pinnacle for the Petra Kvitova win? And is that what you're going for?
Yeah, just before talking about the prices, I was just checking the schedule of play. They'll play tomorrow in the first match of the night session at 7 p.m.
I'm right away now. My confidence just shot up tenfold. I mean, just that's gonna nullify the wind for because Arthur Ashe and the night session, she's gonna be able to draw from that experience she had last night. So yeah, take Petra and don't even sweat it.
There we go. Confident. I like people who feel really confident about those bets there. Bet Kvitova and don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Are you going for that, Joao?
I think that I won't go on the money line on this match. And if I had to choose a line to place a bet, although Kvitova played very well, and I mentioned that I believe that she had value against Muguruza, and she managed to get the win. And she's always a very dangerous opponent on the big stages. I just can't underestimate Williams' ability to fight the way although she hasn't been playing very very well on this event when compared to her performances in Wimbledon and the Australian Open. I just can't underestimate her, and she's playing at home. Very, very tough opponent to beat. And I'm going with a trend here. If I had to pick a bet, it will be the over 21.5 games at 1.88 on Pinnacle. They have played always a third set match in their previous 5 encounters, has always been very close. And as I mentioned, just can't underestimate Venus on a big event, on a Grand Slam. And I think that she can create some problems. And also Kvitova is always a very inconsistent player. Although she played very well, it's hard for her to maintain a consistent level throughout the entire match. So 3 sets here, or at least 1 set with a tiebreak, should make this over.
All right, so a different approach there. Maybe Venus Williams could cause the upset. I hope so. I want her to win. But you're right, Kvitova may be in a different class. Okay, that wraps things up. Anybody got anything else to add before I let you guys go?
The floor is yours.
Okay. All right. Great stuff. So there we have it. These are special guests there. Big special guest there, Taif. Really nice to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. It was very nice to be on. Thank you again. Hopefully we can do more of these coming forward.
For sure. And I'll see Alex from Need for Tips and Joao from MGTennisTipster.com back tomorrow to preview day 2 quarterfinals. A little bit later actually, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll see you then. Thanks guys, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.